All right, Small Steps, Chapter 10. Happy 13th birthday. On the first Sunday in November, Dad said, "Next week we're going to have a birthday party." He turned to me. "Or did you forget what day is coming?" Every year since I was old enough to know the date, I had counted the days until it was time for presents and a party. This year I had completely forgotten. Without school events to keep track of and Mother's daily reminder calendar next to the telephone, my days and weeks ran together like cream and coffee. "By this time next week," Mother said, "we'll have another teenager in the family." "A grown-up, mature young woman," said Dad. "Ha," said Alice. A teenager. I was going to be 13 years old. I wonder what awaited me in the years to come. A wheelchair of my own? Braces on my legs? Walking sticks? Or perhaps during my 13th year I would learn to walk. Perhaps I would go home. Home. What a powerful word. It caused pictures to flash through my mind like slides fast-forwarding on a screen. Home was a 3-story yellow house with a large kitchen where we ate most of our meals, a dining room for special occasions, and a living room that contained, among other things, the piano where I practiced my lessons. My bedroom was upstairs, and in my mind I entered it gladly. I saw my bed, my 4-drawer dresser on the rug of the floor, even my messy closet, which Mother always nagged me to clean out so I wouldn't attract spiders. I loved every inch of that house. But home was more than walls and furniture. It was Grandpa sitting beside me at dinner and BJ at my feet hoping for a handout. It was Mother singing in the kitchen and the smell of freshly laundered sheets that had dried in the sun. Home was Dad arriving at 6 o'clock, bringing me a piece of bubble gum. Home was macaroni and cheese for supper. Home was feeling safe and cherished. "Are we really going to have a party?" Dorothy asked. "Right here in this room," Dad said, "and it's going to be a wing-dinger." "I've never been to a birthday party," Alice said. "We'll fix that," said Mother. It was easier to have them leave at 4 o'clock knowing that there was a birthday party to look forward to. The next Sunday, the nurses helped us into wheelchairs for the party, all except Shirley, who couldn't sit up that long. I thought 12 o'clock would never come. Mother and Dad brought balloons and party hats. Art came, and his presence excited all of us even more. Dad took movies of the festivities. Dorothy blushed and looked away from the camera while Renee mugged shamelessly. Shirley self-consciously waved whenever the camera was pointed at her, and Alice put her hands over her face and refused to be photographed. Mother opened a large box revealing a chocolate birthday cake with 13 candles. The nurses were invited to share the cake, so there was quite a group crowded in the room to sing happy birthday. As I blew out the candles, I had only one wish. I want to walk again. After we ate the cake, I opened my presents. Dorothy and Renee had made a bead bracelet for me in their occupational therapy class. Alice had made a card, which surprised me because on the morning of the party she pretended to have forgotten all about my birthday. Shirley was not well enough to make anything, but her name had been added to Alice's card. We hated to have the afternoon end, but as usual, my parents gave us something to look forward to. "Next week," Dad said, "you can see yourselves in the movie." "Not me," said Alice. "I'm not in it." "Yes, you are," said Dad. "I got some shots of you when you didn't know it." Alice grumbled about that, but when Sunday rolled around again, she was eager to see the film. There was much bustling about as my parents set up the projector screen and hung bedspreads over the window to darken the room. Dorothy and Renee were in their wheelchairs, and so was I, but Shirley's bed had to be pushed across the room next to Alice's so that everyone could see. Dorothy had never seen herself in a movie, and she shouted with excitement each time she appeared on the screen. Alice kept saying, "There we are, that's us!" When the movie ended, we begged Dad to rewind it and play it again, which he did. In bed that night, the other girls talked about how much fun it was to see themselves in a movie. Listening to their chatter, I remembered dozens of home movies. One of me playing with BJ, riding my bike, and climbing a tree. There was footage of me modeling a new coat and riding my friend's pony. As I compared those other happy times to my hospital birthday party, I felt homesick. It had been a wonderful party, and I was grateful for it. But it wasn't as good as being well. Will it ever happen? I wondered. Will I ever ride a bike again? My worries were eased by Miss Ballard's optimistic outlook. She praised my progress every day, saying things like, "If you keep this up, you'll be walking soon." After she had worked with me for a week, Miss Ballard asked if I would try to take a hot bath instead of the hot packs. Anything would be better than hot packs, I said. The next morning, 2 of the nurses, Willie and Terry, helped me into a large bathtub that was partly filled with hot water. Then Willie turned on the hot water again. I will let it run until the water is as hot as you can take it, she said. The water got hotter and hotter, but because it happened gradually, I didn't mind. When the tub was full, I soaked until the water cooled down, emerging with lobster-red skin and fingers and toes as wrinkled as raisins. I dressed and had my physical therapy session. Do you want to have a bath each day instead of hot packs? Miss Ballard asked. I grinned. No more hot packs? Ever? No more hot packs. She made a note on my chart. I loved the hot baths. They relaxed and soothed my muscles even more than the hot packs had, without the initial burning sensation. Also, my arms and legs felt weightless in the water. I could move them in ways I could not otherwise. A daily trip to the occupational therapy room was added to my schedule. OT consisted of crafts and projects designed to strengthen damaged muscles. On my way to the OT room, I went through a ward for younger children. Several were playing with dolls. The dolls all lay on their backs while the children moved the doll's arms and legs around. One girl told her doll, "This will hurt, but it will help you get well." I wondered if there were doll-sized hot packs. When I reached OT, I saw other patients painting, weaving scarves, and making belts. I was eager to start my own craft project. The occupational therapist, whose name was Jeanette, took the footrest off my wheelchair. "We'll need your shoes and socks off, too," she said, and quickly removed them. I could not imagine what craft project required me to have bare feet. Jeanette dumped a bag of marbles in a pile next to my right foot. "Pick them up with your toes," she said, "one at a time, and move them over to your other foot." I stared at her. "Why?" "It's good exercise for your feet and ankles." I turned my right toes around a green marble, moved my foot to the left, and released the marble. "Very good," Jeanette said. "This," I muttered, "is the stupidest thing I've ever done." "It won't take long," Jeanette said. "There are only 75 marbles." "I'll die of boredom," I complained. But Jeanette had already gone on to show some lucky patient how to make a belt. When half the marbles had been moved, I told Jeanette, "My leg is tired. I can't do any more." "Use your other foot," she replied. "Move the marbles back to where they were to start with." Later in the week, I made a coin purse in OT. In the hospital, I had no use for a coin purse, but it was much better than picking up marbles with my toes. To come back soon for Chapter 11.